us really know much anything, honestly. And if it comes right down to it, we know a hell of a lot less than we know. I mean, we
Right.
don't know much at all. And
Yeah.
and that's that, and so, and again, with this internet, it's Alvin Toffler future shock. It's like bombarding people with information. Google it. You can Google it. Oh yeah, then you're just a walking dictionary. You just know everything, don't you? No, you actually know less, because it's, first of all, Google lies about everything and puts stuff in order it wants you to lie. And second of all, your brain is becoming fragmented with too much information, and you're really actually knowing less and less and less all the time, because you're trapped in your brain, you're trapped in your head, you're out of your heart and soul, your instincts, which tells you how to live automatically. You don't need to think about it. You don't need to write it down. You don't need to dwell on it. You just do it. And this is just the opposite. This is what Carlos Castaneda talked about in his books. How the mind would be this monster that stalks you, man, if you give it, too much juice, if you spend too much time. This is what the Buddhists are all about, emptying your mind. This is why this is why they do it. Because if you're just in your head, you're going to become corrupt. You're going to become scheming. You're going to become, this calculating person that's always looking out for their own interests, for one thing. And then you're just going to lose touch with who you really are. You're going to lose touch with the beauty of yourself, the beauty of humanity that you are. And so that's why academia just takes people to this place. And just, I got a master's degree, and that's why I quit. I could have got a PhD. I had an offer for a scholarship. I was like, no, I'm kind of done with this, because you can just see them like narrowing the sieve and specializing you, and just, making you some expert about this one little thing, and making you think you know more than other people. And, there's those deplorables over there, or whatever. It's like, no, I don't want to be like that. I'm still working class Joe. Give me a shovel, man. I can help you out, man. So that's really a trap, and that's really the trap that, in a way, it got us into this, because only if we were trapped in our heads, consumed by consuming information, like spending all of our time consuming information, which is what most people do now. They just sit in front of the TV, they get on the internet, they don't go outside, they don't do physical work, they don't, I don't know, anything. And they're trapped in their minds, and so then they're susceptible to the control of the media, big time. And they don't have bearings. They don't have that bullshit meter. Like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Come on, man, this is bullshit. So we have to really, while we're coming out of this, while we're talking about this total hoax that is coronavirus, we also have to look at the bigger picture. How did we get here? How are we susceptible to this? How could we have even believed this? Why did we even why did we allow them to just destroy our economy and tell us to go home? I mean, how did that happen? The executive order from Trump suspending the Constitution. How did that happen? Yeah, those are the questions we got to ask, and just get tougher, man. Get stronger, and don't have that fear, because there's nothing to fear, man. And see, like, fear is where the Luciferians live. They live in fear. That's why they're not powerful. They have a lot of money, and they have a lot of agents, and they pull a lot of tricks, and they do all that stuff, but they're not powerful because they live in fear. God and love and creator and love and life, and that is way more powerful, but it's completely different, and you can't really live in both. You either have to live in love and go balls out and try to help people and not be scared of even dying or anything, or you're going to live in fear, and you're just going to be waiting for stuff to happen, and you're going to be reactive, and you're going to be susceptible to propaganda, and so that fear is kind of evil, I guess is what I'm saying. It's kind of borderline evil. So it's really serious stuff here, that you don't live in fear. It's not just that it's bad. It's kind of worse than bad, especially when creeps like this come around and tell us what we got to do. And then you just do it because you're scared. And you want, like Benjamin Franklin said, those who want, who value safety over liberty deserve neither, and it's true.
Now,
We don't need that. We don't need safety. We're fine.
now in closing tonight, with everything that's happening right now, with people waking up, with this, we are already seeing a bit of resistance in certain places. Where do you see us going? Where do you see this playing out? Do you see it kind of ending up in a sort of civil war? Is there any other way we can resolve this? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it looks to me like there's going to be 3 different camps coming out of this. Okay. So there's going to be people that just walk around with them. This is hardly even happening. they don't even really comprehend what's happening because they're just going to follow orders from whoever and then get back to their phone right away and be uber connected to everything and everybody all the time. In other words, not have a sense of self anymore, just, and that's kind of the nature of it. And they'll be hooked up to the internet. They'll be herded into smart cities. They'll feel very safe. They'll be able to go to Starbucks pretty soon, and then they'll just go along with it. So that's just the 5G smart cities that Agenda 21 is planning on and will be implemented for sure. I mean, because there'll be enough people that just go that way. Then there'll be a second crowd. It'll be like the Outlaws, the Mad Max crowd. You'd be outside the cities. You won't accept the chip. You won't accept the tattoo. Be like, screw this. And you'll be just marauding and trying to take from everybody. Just, get it for yourself. Think the Deep South. The third camp is going to be the people that live outside the city, but actually come together and actually, maybe they buy some land together and go, live in teepees or build some houses or cabins or, work together but yet live outside the system. And I think that third camp is the camp where I'm going to be and where I think it's going to be the best. I think that's how it's going to play out because, I mean, maybe it can be better than that. Maybe we can really expose this whole thing, and maybe they will back off all this stuff. But the inertia towards these smart cities, the inertia towards 5G, I mean, it's going to take a big revelation. It's going to take an insider, maybe even Trump or somebody powerful enough in Congress or some powerful person to point out the dangers of 5G, to point out all the things we just talked about. And I honestly don't think that's going to happen. So I honestly think a good chunk of people are going to be pushed into these smart cities, and they'll be just, they'll be eating their soma every night, like Huxley talked about, and they'll be perfectly content. They won't even know they're slaves. They'll be just perfectly happy to just sit in front of their screen and be monitored 24/7 and take their temperature at every checkpoint and, walk by security cameras and flash their tattoo. And I really think that's the way it's going to work out. So you're going to have to make some decisions coming up on how you want to play it. And I know Jah provides, and I know how to survive, and I know that that's the way we're supposed to live anyway. So I think out of that is going to come that third group, and that can really actually elevate a lot of humanity. That can bring the humanity out of people. That could be actually way better than most people are having to live right now. Because, honestly, a lot of people are looking at this like this lockdown. It's like better than it was last month for them, because last month they were working 60 hours at some shitty job and not being appreciated and work. Well, at least now they get to go home, So, I mean, out of that can come contemplation. Maybe they're watching a YouTube that they never watched. Maybe they're reading a book they never read. Be careful, what the powers that be should be, powers that wish they were should be careful about, how long they let this go on, because people will become more aware and people will become pissed. And, I think right now, just stay defiant, but that's kind of what I think might come of it. And I think, like I say, there'll be some people that end up a lot worse off and enslaved, but not even know it. And there'll be some people that I think can actually have a better existence than they ever thought imaginable, so, but it's going to be kind of this splitting. Well, it's going to be the humans and it's going to be the cyborgs, the transhumans. Honestly, it's as simple as that. But there will remain a species called human beings, and they will be the ones that, I'm going to want to hang out with anyway.
Definitely.